All right, let's talk about testing missions. So we have a few options when testing missions. We have the peer tools, we have the dedicated server tool. Dedicated server tool is probably the closest you will be able to get to testing a mission as it would be on the global conflict server. It is not 100% the same. I cannot tell you why. A great example is Hitman's one of Hitman's missions. You have a lot of custom lights. It works fine in the dedicated server tool. On the global conflict server, it did not. I cannot tell you why, but these are the options you have. The other option is of course the peer tool. It's like the little brother of the dedicated server tool. Cannot exactly tell you what the difference between the two are, but it is lesser experience than using dedicated server tool, but it is faster. So yeah, it's up to you which one makes the most sense. I would always suggest that you, at the very end, before you upload it, test your mission in the dedicated server tool, make sure it works as expected, and then send it to GitHub. So let's take a look. The peer tools is set up by going to plugins, settings, finding the peer tool. In here, we need to make sure that the executable is the ArmaReforger Steam diag. And under peer, peer's windows, make sure that it's 1. If you add multiple, it just opens up multiple Arma windows, which can be fine if you want to test some interactions between two characters. In here, make sure that you have this one ticked, or it will not join the server. And down here, we have the params, where we are telling which add-ons we want to add to it. Make sure that you include the GitHub, or like the folder where you have your missions, global conflict missions project located. So in my case, I just have a folder called GitHub. If we go to that one, you can see that I have a bunch of other stuff in here. These one being the actual repos for add-ons. There's a bunch of other stuff, but it's clever enough to not pick that up, so that's fine. In my case, because I have all of these downloaded, using the program that I'm using Git Kraken. One very important thing for you is if you do have multiple, or if you just have missions, make sure it's the most up-to-date. So open up Git Kraken or whatever you're using and make sure that you're actually using the most up-to-date version. So here I can see that we actually have a newer version, and my what's it called? The git app pull has not actually pulled it yet. We're just gonna jump in here and help it out. So that is core, and not that one, but this one. Update the branch. Cool. Now we should be able to pull this, and we can, and it is now up to date. Awesome. Okay, so coming back up. So make sure that is the first one, and after that you will load all of the other ArmaReforger add-ons. And for me, they are in My Games ArmaReforger add-ons. I'm gonna put this down below so you can copy. You need to copy, but yeah, they are in here. So like that's all of the other add-ons. Make sure they're also up to date. Joining the server, then yeah, everything just works better that way. So those are the settings. We save that by clicking OK. To actually run it, you click this down arrow and you make sure that use server localhost plus peer tool is enabled. If you click that, it gets a little check mark, and then you just click play. It is very common that you get an error message here. That's at least what I'm hearing. There's all kinds of things happening. I cannot tell you why. If I open up here, I had an error just before recording this. Well, as you can see, not just before, but I even have an error message right now. Cool. That's gonna be fun to troubleshoot. Just wanna run through this one first. So here, we can see a warning, we can see error, and we can see that it, just take that out. Something file system cannot add file system for this mod. No idea why it cannot. So what you do is you go into your addons folder, you search for the mod, and you delete the folder. then you go back into Arma and you re-download it. I did this earlier, and well, first I started with this extended US military and then went on to Ruha, so I had to delete both and re-download. It's a pain, but after that it did work. Alright, so let's take a look at why it's currently not working. It did not actually show me that error. So you saw there was a box with a URL, sorry, not a URL, a link to where my log files are. So take a look at what that shows up so you can find it. In my case, they're in here. So let's just see 16, 15, 12. Time flies. So let's try and open that up and take a look what their problem is. This is one of those ones where I don't really know. Something is failing to load. Who knows? So when that happens, first step I always do, kill everything. Kill everything. So we're shutting down, closing it out. So I did update something. That's probably what messed me up there. But yeah, let's close that. Open up tools again. Scan my GitHub folder. Don't fully think this is needed, but who knows? Scan that. Everything is scanned. Let's open up global conflicts again. Huh. Interesting. I guess that makes a lot of sense because we did see right here that he swapped something. So this is gonna be one of the long videos. Cool. Let's open up Arma. I did go through that a little fast. Maybe just take a quick look at that again so you can see what I did. So when I tried to open this up, there was an error message that, hey, we cannot do this because we're missing something. So this is a mod. We're missing this mod. Let's see if we can just jump in here. So the easiest way of getting it is, of course, just go in and search for global conflicts, jump on the server, and it should download it. The server is not always up during the week, so another way of doing it is go to the workshop and search for the ID of it, and it should find it. So this is a 320 megabyte. Hopefully this is gonna go pretty fast. We're gonna sit there and wait forever. Does feel like it's going pretty fast, so that's good. Thank God for fast internet. Let's just make sure there's no dependencies. There's no dependencies. Cool. We can close out of this again. And just waiting for that to stop. There we go. Let's open up this. So we download a new mod. Let's make sure we add it. Okay, got added. Let's open that up again. Cool. Open up my world. Ignoring all of the errors. Double checking that we didn't lose any settings. That all looks fine. Enabling peer tools and starting it up again. Ignoring all of the error messages. Waiting 20 minutes. And there we go. We now have peer tools running. Before we move on, let me just show you quickly how you actually use this. So this one, the window here, is my client, and the one on the back in the workbench is the server. So as we can see here, I cannot click to the different game stages. But if we go back here, you can click these. Don't do that. Click on the green one. To my understanding, that progresses the game state. So now we can select unit, and we can select a unit, and we can click next. We can read the briefing, next, and we should be in. Cool. As you can see, the server has already loaded everything, but the client has not. Just wait for the client to actually load. There we go. People are loading in. There you go. All right, let's close this down and close down the exit game. So that's peer tools. Only got 1400 errors. That's very not a lot for what we normally get, but honestly, unless you are making like add-on changes or something like that, you can't deal with this. This is all garbage. Just ignore it. Right, so peer tools. Now let's take a look at the dedicated server tools. So dedicated server tools lives on here, plugins, dedicated server tool. In here, make sure you have a server config, make sure it's this one. Make sure that you have the ArmaServer diag enabled in as the executable. Some logging is probably nice, so you can debug stuff. Params, this is the same as before. Make sure it's GitHub first and then addons. And then under peers, again, make sure that it's using the executable. So not the server one, but the ArmaReforger, just like we did for the peers. Here, notice that I have two peers because the workbench is not actually spinning up as a game world. So we need to have two if you're doing, well, multiple things, of course. And in here, just set them up like the peer tools you had before, with the GitHub first and then add-ons. So the easiest is just to like set up one and then duplicate it. That way you have to. All right. Up here is where you actually select what world we wanna test. So mine is called video. See. You can also load the mission header. I don't have one for this one. And I also had issues getting it to work. So I don't know. Not sure what is wrong with that, but yeah, let's run this. So we can see it spins up the server. It opens up two game worlds, sorry, game clients. Here comes all of the error messages. Just gonna import everything. None of this matters. Cool. We have two game clients plugged in. Notice that, just click OK to these. Notice that none of them have a green next button because these are both clients. None of them are the admin. So to test here, you have to press escape, go to players, and start an admin mode. And hopefully I clicked the right one. It looks like I did. So here we can now click lobby, select different characters, next, and we're in. And notice that none of them can actually see each other because they're both clients. There we go. They all loaded in. The other guy has not loaded anything in yet. Oh, sorry, he did, but just not looking. So that's the server tools. I think there's anything else we want to talk about here. So let's close that down again, close that down, and kill the server. So those are the two main ways of testing. I do want to show one more thing. And I don't, of course, I do have the framework. Let's just quickly load up a different machine for this quick little thing. Do I have it in PowerPlay? I probably have it in PowerPlay. It's just too PowerPlay. So the very last thing is, before you start testing on the dedicated server tools, I would just run through like a normal start the mission as you normally would by clicking the green arrow up here. And I want to make sure that all of my events are happening as I want them to. So if you search for, I think it's Til, let's just start it so we can actually see what it is. Til WMF. Okay. So if we search Til WMF, was it not Til WMF? Yeah, of course that disappeared faster. There we go. Okay, so by searching for Til WMF, you now see all of the events that are happening from your mission framework. So this is an easy way of like double checking that everything is happening the way you want it to be happening. Yeah, that's, I think, is everything I want to talk about today. The fuck? He finally actually updated. Oh, that's probably gonna mess up my entire world.